Have you ever felt stuck in like small talk and wished you could break through and have more meaningful conversations? Well, let me tell you, in this video, we go dive deep into how to open up really interesting conversations. And in a previous video I've done, I talked more about how to hold space for such conversations. If you're interested, watch that first and then come back to this video. In the realm of dating, I hear this quite often, that you go on a date and oftentimes it just keeps on the shallow, which is nice at some point, but you want to dig deeper and actually get to know someone. So that's why I think this could be very helpful for dating, but really for all life situations when you want to deeply connect with someone. So you're getting some practical ways to guide conversations that spark curiosity, connection, and depth. So here's the truth that my dating coach shared with me that I found so simple and obvious, but totally forgot about that. And that is, if you want deeper conversations, you need to ask deeper questions. That's where it starts and where you really invite someone into opening up. So often we get caught up in simple questions like how was your day, what you do for your job, and so on and so forth. These are fine, but to take it to the next level, you want to get a little bit more from your questions. So, but what if you ask something like, what's a belief that you have outgrown? Or when was the last time you were feeling truly alive? You could ask questions like, what's something that's been on your mind lately? What made you think this way? To be honest, I find it really helpful to have a couple of questions up your sleeve, just because it sometimes helps to break through the small talk and just be a little bit not prepared, but especially if you feel nervous when dating, for example, then it's always a good thing, I think, to have a little bit of questions prepared that are truly interesting for you to get to know someone better. So you could, for example, ask like, what's a legacy that you want to leave behind? Or have you ever had a moment that was pure magic to you? The questions alone, they have so much more to give than like, what's your job, or how are you? They go so much deeper to really understand someone's emotions. Obviously, holding space is a very big part of cultivating deep conversations, because when you can hold space, then it's much easier for someone to truly open up and feel they are heard. So a second tip that I would give is to definitely practice listening and staying present with the person you're with. As something that really works well too is when someone shares, you could then further ask, oh, tell me more about this, or what made you feel that way? Also ask questions like, how was that experience for you, or how did that experience change you? So you're getting layer for layer, deeper and deeper with that person together, and it's beautiful when that happens and someone is vulnerably opening up to you and you can actually receive that. The conversation flow naturally. Wherever it goes, just I think that one of the important things is to stay curious, and with asking these questions, you show that you're curious about someone and their thoughts and what they think about specific topics, and see where it goes. Authentically and from the heart. I think that is really important, that you too are ready to open up and share maybe challenges or how you've grown. I think that really shows that you're a safe space for another person to open up, because vulnerability leads to vulnerability and invites that. And so it's beautiful if you too are ready to open up and share. I think it's really important to share to connect. So when you're sharing authentically, the goal should always be to finding a ground where you might be also different, or even connect and feel, maybe both feel the exact same way. But it should never be that you're overpowering someone or overshadowing someone by telling them how you experienced it, and that's the truth. Like it's important that you both find a balance of like receiving and giving. So I kind of teased on this already. It's really important to create a safe space, but Being emotionally a safe space is super important for deep conversations. By being non-judgmental. It's absolutely okay if someone has a different opinion or another way to go about things as you do. Just notice that and accept it. That is really important, that you're allowing yourself to understand, well, that's maybe where we differ, and that's okay. Another point is validating their feelings. So you could say something like, that makes so much sense that you would feel this way. Safety, that they're not feeling stupid about how they feel. Safety in conversations is to respect pauses and silence. And I know this can feel really uncomfortable, but it's so important to be able to sit in that without having to fix anything. Because in conversations and deep conversations, we never want to fix anyone. We're just there to connect and listen and to share our experiences, but never to fix anyone. Safe way to also introduce deeper conversations is to ask, hey, is it okay if I ask you a more deeper question? This simple question really helps someone to prepare and not be thrown into cold water, but also shows like the respect you have for someone to say yes or no to it. And here are a couple more tips that I personally find absolutely crucial on helps you to go even deeper in conversations. Use open-ended questions. So never want to ask like a yes or no question because that's the answer and then, well, that's their answer. But if you ask questions that really allow for them to share a whole story, you want to make sure that your questions are not yes and no answers. Secondly, and that is something I actually learned in like sales conversations. So salespeople are really great listeners, and not just that, they mirror back your emotions. And has nothing to do with sales conversations, but just in general, even in sales, it's about connecting with someone on a deeper level. And in like these conversations that we're aiming for, is the same thing. So we want to mirror back their emotions, and you can do this by, for example, repeating what they're saying. I have to say, it always feels very unnatural to oneself, like to you saying the exact same thing that they just said. Sometimes it feels like we're like a recorder to repeat this, but it just really helps the other person to hear that you absolutely understood what they were saying. And understanding someone is such a beautiful feeling, and it makes them feel important, which again leads to deeper conversations because you create that safety for them to open up and share their feelings. Something else I wanted to touch on is having some space. So specifically if you're dating or seeing someone more regularly, I think it's really a great thing to do to get important questions also into the room. Don't wait until forever. I would say bring them as soon as possible if you really want to build a life with someone, and if that's your aim and goal when like meeting someone. Then you really want to think about questions that not just go deeper but are really important for you to clarify if you're both on the same path. You might want to ask questions like, what are your thoughts on having family? Do you want children? What are your religious beliefs, or do you have any beliefs? What do you think about politics? Is it important to you or not? Or would you like to get married one day? What is your ideal lifestyle like? Would you want to travel or rather settle down? I'd really love to know what are questions that led to interesting conversations. Please let me know in the comments. I think it's great if we can all learn from each other. But these things are definitely tools that help me to create deeper conversations and connections with people I just meet along the way while dating, meeting my partner, and so on. Hopefully it is a good toolkit now for you as well, and I would love to know about your experience. See you in the next video.